there's no secret that like you could do this on a piece of paper, right? Like you don't need the hustle handbook, right? The only reason we produced it was because after you talked in at these regional events, you kind of like looked at what you were doing it in before and you wanted some of your own tweaks to it. So Tori went to work on it and produced this with the tweaks that you wanted of like, hey, what would your perfect little handbook look like? I think there's some powerful stuff to be able to look back over, your targets and how they change over the year, right? And be able to see like when you missed a day and where your patterns are showing up of inconsistency, right? And so for me, I think that's a really cool part about having it all in one little, what are these things, $20 or something like that, one little $20 book that you can look back over and see your growth. I know I'm not the same entrepreneur now than I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same entrepreneur than I was 10 months ago, right? My targets have changed. My goals have increased. I just looked at some of my numbers for one of our businesses. We did close to 700,000 in cash last month in the door. Like, 10 years ago, I was pumped to get a $700 contract, right? I might be 10 years ahead of a lot of you guys, but like, to me, like this can speed up trajectory because oftentimes we get focused on a goal and then we get content with it and we stay in this one space for a long time. I think there's some value and some power to be able to look back. Hey, last month I was saying my goal was 10K. I'm still saying I hit my goal and I didn't really increase my goal that much. I didn't really push myself to the next level. And so you can have some self-reflection and like self-awareness to go back and look at some of this stuff and go like, dude, am I playing at the level I should play at, right? And so one of my goals for these two is that you guys will show up to our next set of regional events, our sales school that we're going to release. It's coming out, it's July now, so end of this month. I'm going to have that out for you guys here soon. One of my goals is that you guys show up with this stuff and we can look through this with you guys and we can see and find holes or inconsistencies in the way that your actions are taking your business or the way your actions are not taking your business, right? And so to me, it's like, this is as easy as going and getting your breakfast every morning or making your coffee. If you can implement it into your daily grind, right? And you can put this stuff down and just be consistent with it, man, how it starts, like you said, how it starts is how it ends. Like if you start the day right, you're hopefully going to end the day right. I think it's going to be in a lot better position than if you started the day with no freaking plan, right? Hey, I want to go to Florida. I got no map, so I'm just going to start walking. I mean, that's really what it is for a lot of entrepreneurs. They wake up, I don't know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. One thing that was really powerful, my uncle, I think it was my great uncle actually, he's very successful. And I remember when I first started as an entrepreneur, he looked at me and he goes, I didn't know anything, dude, by the way. I was like probably like a lot of you guys, I was just starting out, just got let go from my job. And he's like, what do you wake up? What's your plan every day when you wake up to go out and get your clients, right? We're selling email marketing. And it stuck with me. He passed away not too long ago, but it stuck with me. And I didn't have an answer. I was like, I don't really know what, I literally wake up and then I kind of just like figure it out the day as I went, right? And it stuck with me for a really long time until it finally clicked. And then once I understood how I would go out and get my clients every day, like clockwork, once I knew that, business started to become a lot easier. But it's the same idea, is like, without a freaking target, without a plan, you're flying blind. You're pissing in the wind. You're pissing up a rope, right? So this is something so simple and so like archaic, really. Writing down your goals. Ding, 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 ding. How we've all heard it, right? But I'm telling you guys, there's something powerful to this. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say so just to kind of explain, it's a little bit more than just writing down your goals, right? Because so basically how the handbooks are designed is you basically write, 3 to-dos for the day, you're going to commit to accomplishing. And then you write down 3 things you're grateful for, which is huge. Again, gratitude, this is all proven. There's something called the progress principle. I think it was written in the Harvard Review based on a ton of research. And what they found is that after a ton of people they studied, the most happy, successful, fulfilled people, especially entrepreneurs, generally had one thing in common. And they feel like they're making progress on something that matters to them on a consistent basis. So the cool thing about when you write down, like in the morning, again, it takes a few minutes. Write down like 3 things you want to accomplish, but it's not just about, obviously we're trying to, we got our business goals and stuff, but like I always try to, so for me, it's always like workout. And then I'll usually have 1 or 2 business goals. And then it could be like personal, right? It could be like, call your parents or spend some time with your kid or because it's obviously, the goal of being an entrepreneur, of running your own business is to support your life, right? Not take over or control your life. So this, obviously we're talking about how this is going to help your lead gen business, but it also goes, for everything, because, we all have those things that we know we should do, like on a personal level, that we just forget or we procrastinate about. And I do the same thing. Like, so this, I kind of like to spread it out. So you kind of have like maybe your physical health. So for example, you could say like, I go to the gym, or I, watch your diet or whatever you're doing today. Another thing could be like, focusing on whatever you got to do for your lead gen business. Like, again, finishing that lead gen side or prospecting or, making an offer, blah, blah, blah. And then another be like just your personal goal, whatever you want to do, your family stuff or whatever, just write it down. Doesn't mean that you have to do it. It's just like, these are the targets in an ideal situation that I'd set. Second thing you do is you write down 3 things you're grateful for. And again, gratitude this has been studied. This isn't woo-woo shit, because I'm definitely not about that. But again, this is like you said, Dan, like if you're writing down your targets twice a day, all year, 600 to 700 times a year, what do you think your odds are of achieving those goals? Pretty high compared to the person who's just doing it once. Well, think about if you're writing 3 things you're actually grateful for. And I'm not talking about like you really try to feel it. And like some of mine are so retarded, like I'll write down, I'm grateful for my king size bed, or that, I get to work from home, or, my gym is pretty cool, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. My parents are still alive. The point is, what you're training your brain to do is to focus on what you have going for you. Like, it's focus on what resources you have available. It's training your brain. This is what I want to focus, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We all know people that are like super successful, but are miserable, right? Like, they have everything going, but they focus on, the one thing in their life that sucks, or whatever. So the gratitude part is huge, because it just allows you to, again, train your mind to focus on things you do have going for you. And sometimes it doesn't matter that they have to be epic. It could be like really small things, but think about that. You're doing that twice a day. So that's like 6 times a day, for a year, 900 to 1,000 times a year.
Yeah.
Again, like, it's just numbers.